right, so let's get right into it here. I have got this really large, what I would call fabrication. This was a straight piece at one time that was was burned out on a plasma machine, and then bent at 90 degrees in our fabrication department. And my task today is to add a 2-inch diameter hole in this one leg here. All right. Now, a couple things to look at here. If I was just going to drill an 1-inch diameter hole in here, all right, all I would have needed were these 2 jacks, and the drill pressure would be fine. We could do that setup all day long with that, and it would be fine. No clamps needed. Now, and this was a work in progress for me also. When you come here to watch these videos, there's 100 different ways you could do this. And the reality is, you know, my boss drops this stuff off, and he expects it done in a half hour or so. I mean, that's why I get this stuff, 2 of these, and because they know I can figure out a way to do it quickly. Again, if I had to do many of these, if the tolerance was tight, if the location was tight, I would do it differently. Okay, and I think that's what some people miss about some of my posts. There are a lot of different ways to do things, but you always have to take advantage of your tolerance. And again, as I always teach you, to get things done as quickly and accurately as possible. So let's take a look at the setup. Okay, again, big 90-degree fabrication here. I'm going to put this hole in. Well, I drilled the hole in first, and it went fine, not a problem. But as soon as the end mill came in, a lot of vibration. So I added this clamp. Well, let's take a look at this. I've got a couple setup studs here, then a coupling nut to put 2 together because I didn't have one long enough. And instead of using these step blocks here, I just used a couple jacks here to get to use as my step blocks for support under this clamp. Well, one clamp still didn't work, so I had to add this one. Well, in this case, I was out of jacks, and I had this piece of aluminum stock over here, and I just used a step block over here. I don't mind using step blocks. They're nice, but they're a little wobbly. When I ran bigger machines, we had bigger ones. For this purpose, it worked fine. So I've got this piece of aluminum. We'll take I'll look at this in another view in a second. So here we have 2 jacks supporting the part underneath, and then we've got the toe clamps holding the part down against these 2 jack screws that are placed against the movable jaw, top of the movable jaw. All right, so let's take a look at this from a different angle. So there you have it. You've got the 2 jack screws here acting as step blocks, a giant piece of aluminum round stock, plus a step block acting as another support for this toe clamp. And I can tell you, then we clamped over these 2 jacks, and this worked out just fine. You can see a lot of little chips here. Again, I just drilled an 1/16 hole because that's the size drill I happen to have available, and just stepped it out 25 thousandths at a time. It took like 6 minutes. All right. Again, if I had a lot of these to do, we'd explore a different way to do it. For 2 parts, 6 minutes apiece, we're good to go. So the lesson here is, when you're trying to just do a few pieces, we don't want to be dangerous, but you know, I know my machine fairly well. I knew I could drill the hole without step clamps, and I was hoping I could gently mill it without them. No. Then I thought if I just added 1 to stabilize it, that would do it. No. So finally 2 step clamps against the jacks, and no vibration. The hole came out. You can see the finish on that. Came out very well. So again, a million different ways to do a part like this. This was my way. They came out just fine. If you have any questions or comments about this particular lesson, please post them below, and we'll see you on the next lesson.